Hello friends, and welcome to another reading journal update, but this time I have decided to do it a little bit different. So this time I'm going to be showing you a bit more of the reading side of things, but with plenty of reading journaling as well, because I have to make all the reading journal spreads for all the books that I'm going to be reading in this video. So yeah, there is a lot of reading journaling as well. So before I tell you about the first book, I just want to quickly say, if it's your first time here, then welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. Welcome in. And if you're not new, then welcome back, of course. If you enjoy this type of reading journal update, then please let me know, because I would love to make them like this in the future as well. So yeah, you'll just have to let me know which style of reading journal update you prefer. So the first book that I'm going to be journaling about is Finale, which is the third book in the Caraval series. So it is a trilogy, and obviously I did read Caraval and Legendary, which is book 1 and book 2. I decided to read this series because I had previously read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which is obviously by the same author, Stephanie Garber, and I really enjoyed that series. Like, I had such a fun time reading it, so I figured I would enjoy the Caraval series as well, and I did definitely enjoy it. I won't say that I enjoyed it as much as the other series. I think I just didn't maybe like the characters as much, and the main reason I wanted to read Caraval was because of Jax, who is in the other series. A lot of people were saying as well that you had to read the Caraval series first because there are some spoilers for this series in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, but for me it didn't really matter that much because mainly I forgot everything that had happened. So even though I could kind of get hints of things that were being spoiled, I didn't actually click on as to what was happening. I was still trying to work out how the ending was gonna go because I had totally forgotten the whole plot. So for me that was no issue. It depends how good your memory is, and mine is not great. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the series, but not as much. I think it's because there was a lot of riddles and puzzles in this series, and for me, I'm not really somebody that enjoys that kind of thing. I don't know, I just can't be bothered with it. I'm the same in real life, so it's the same in books. I hate puzzles and riddles because I can never work them out. So for me, yeah, that bit I didn't enjoy it as much. So when, the first book had finished, Caraval, and then we went on to book 2, and I was like, no, we're gonna have to go through the whole Caraval thing again. I was kind of like, ugh. So if you don't know what Caraval is, by the way, I feel like it's quite a big book series, but basically there's this big event called Caraval. I guess it's like a game, and loads of people enter it, and it's very mysterious. There's somebody called Legend who is kind of in charge of it all, and no one really knows who he is. There's a lot of mystery and things to find out, and we follow Donatella and Scarlet as they kind of make their way through the game unexpectedly and meet a few characters along the way. So I really enjoyed the romance side of it. It is a young adult, but for me the romance was kind of lacking, whereas I felt like I needed a little bit more. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy it, I just did not love it as much as I loved Once Upon a Broken Heart, and that's kind of why I read it, because I was hoping that I would love it as much. So maybe it's my own fault for having too big of expectations for the book, I don't know. But I really like how the spreads turned out, and I actually printed some roses onto tracing paper as well with some gouache, and then used those in the spreads because I didn't really have much stationery sticker wise to use. So yeah, that was really good. Kind of made me make my own stationery to use in the spread, which was really fun. So yeah, that is the first spread all finished. The next spread that I'm going to be making is for A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden, and I had so much fun reading this book. It was just a lot of fun for me. I really enjoy like just classic fae fantasies. I'm not fussed if like all the usual tropes are in there. I just want to have a fun time when I'm reading the book, and I had such a fun time whilst I was reading this book. So basically you follow Cain and Arwen as they're kind of like on separate sides of the kingdom against each other, and then Arwen basically gets taken by the other side because she has to pay off a debt that her brother has kind of got himself into some trouble. So she kind of puts herself forward and says, I'll go with the hope of saving her family's life. So when she gets there, it turns out that she is able to heal people. So then they decide to keep her within the kingdom as a healer to help out, but obviously more things unfold within the story as to why they actually want to keep her and what her power can do and such. But yeah, basically it's an enemies to lovers between Cain and Arwen. I won't say who Cain is in the story because it might spoil something. But the enemies to lovers is so good. The tension is so good. And it really is like a slow burn. Like nothing really happens like spice-wise until about 70% in the book. But there is like so much going on before that between like our two main characters. So that was just so much fun to kind of like watch it all unfold, and it was just such a fun book one in the series. I read it so quickly, so I was just really excited to just carry on the story, and the ending was kind of crazy. There's a lot going on. The magic system as well, some of it is like evolved around stones, so the whole trilogy is called the Sacred Stones trilogy, and all the books are named obviously around different precious stones and gemstones, and then the different areas in the world are all named after the stones. We get a lot of really fun side characters as well, so that was very enjoyable to read. And Cain, the main male character, is maybe one of my favorites, like up there with like Xaden and Rhysand, because I'm a fantasy girly through and through. But yeah, Cain has made it into my top 3 because he is just so good. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book, so much fun. But the spread, I wanted to go with kind of along the lines of the book cover, but the book cover was very red, and I just feel like I've done a lot of red themes recently with reading journal spreads, so I kind of focused more on the purple tones of the book cover. And I had these rose stickers on the left hand side from Journal Say, and the castle sticker is also from Journal Say. I will link everything down below because I do have an affiliate code that you can use, and I'll link every item that I use from there as well. So then I decided to use some of these stamps, and I decided to kind of draw over it with a brush pen because I wanted just like purple for the spread. So I felt like that would kind of just add a little bit more of something different. And then I had these stamps, which are also from Journal Say, with all the sparkles and stars on, and I like to use these whenever I'm doing fantasy kind of themes. So I've been trying not to buy things as well in 2025. I'm trying to use a lot of the stationery that I already have, so I've just been kind of looking through everything that I own to try and just find some stationery that I can use, because I do like to match it with the spread where possible. I don't have to, but I just kind of like creating the world of the story. I feel like if it's a book that I've really enjoyed, then creating the spread and the vibe of the world, because as I said, I mainly read fantasy, so it's something that's always fun to create in my journal. Okay, so I thought I would do some reading in the forest, although there is a dog with me. Banksy! And I got a new camera so I can walk around with this microphone, which is exciting. And I should be able to walk around and the camera should follow me. So that's fun. But yeah, it is very cold, it's very icy, but it's nice to get some fresh air. So we are now on to book 2 in the trilogy, which is A Promise of Peridot. I'm actually surprised that I got that name right because for the entirety of me reading this book, I have not been pronouncing it correctly. I've just been calling it other things like A Price of Peridot and many other things apart from A Promise of Peridot. So I'm glad to finally have the name sorted. I wanted to do a green theme for this book because, as you saw, the book cover is a bit more green, which I was pretty excited to do because I feel like it's been quite a while since I have done a green theme. So I found this green like vellum paper that I had, and then I also have these collage stickers which I have in pretty much every colour, and they are also from Journal Say. And they're just really great to add to spreads and things, so it's kind of like you get to do a little collage without having to do the actual collage, so I find they're really handy. So I decided just to stick them kind of in the center just to break up the writing a little bit. And I'm always trying to find new compositions and different ways that I can kind of just organize my spreads, because obviously I do a fair amount of writing on them, so it's just nice to find different ways to kind of portray that. So yeah, I'm always looking for different compositions and things to try. And I feel like reading journal spreads are really good to do that with because I'm not really adding photos to the spread, so I don't really have to think about that as like a main thing. I can just kind of explore with all the decoration and how I want to organize it. I then grabbed these stamps and just kind of stamped them all over the place. Because the vellum paper was obviously quite plain, I thought I would stamp on top of it to kind of create a pattern. And then I wanted to use some of these stickers, which, as you can probably guess, are from Journal Say. And I got these in one of my hauls, and I got them specifically for reading spreads because I just felt like they were very fantasy based, and I really liked this huge sticker which was like the size of my hand. I'm also using some of my own Patreon rewards because I really liked the mossy items. In this book they spend a lot of time in the forest doing things, so I felt like it would just kind of portray that part of the story for me. If you haven't already seen as well, I have been using this new washi tape sample situation where I just kind of put all my favourite ones on a clip so that I can grab them easily, because I just have a whole bunch of them and I feel like I should probably use them. And it has been encouraging me to grab them a lot easier and just have a different range of washi tapes in my journal. I also use these little green circle stickers which were sent to me by pen pal Katrine, so you can check out her YouTube channel as well. She makes like journal with me's and pen pal with me's and things like that. I also had these huge butterfly stickers which I again forgot that I had. They're like a big washi tape and they have butterflies in all different colours, And yeah, I am a fan of butterflies. I feel like butterfly stickers are always a really good go-to just to add some extra stuff. So they were kind of like the main focal point, just to kind of close and frame in the spread a little bit more. I decided to stamp the title for this one, and I kind of like how iggledy-piggledy it turned out. The book 2 in the series was a really fun one. Again, let's just say they fell out at the end of the last book. Some stuff happened, so we're back to enemies again. And yeah, they were definitely enemies for a while, but I feel like there was good reason for like them to be annoyed at each other. Whereas in like Fourth Wing, when Violet in book 2 is like so annoyed at Xaden for like most of the book, it really annoyed me because I feel like she didn't have that much of a reason to be annoyed at him for. But with this plot point, it makes sense, so I didn't mind it too much. I really like this spread. I think it's very magical with all the gold details. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. The final book in the series, as it's a trilogy, is A Reign of Rose, and this book cover again was very red and dark, and as I said before, I didn't really want to go with a red theme because I'd just done so many recently, so I figured like a pink theme would make sense. So I just kind of grabbed this pink sheet of paper and just went ahead and added it around the edges, and I was kind of going for a pink gothic theme, I guess, because on the cover there is a lot of like roses and it is very dark and gothic, the book cover, so I kind of wanted to imitate that in a way, even though I was going more for like a pinkish theme. I had this lace pet tape which was from Journal Say, and I used this to just put around the edges of the spread. I've been really enjoying using it to just frame things. I would say I got through this book pretty quickly. Again, it was the same with A Promise of Peridot as well. I think A Promise of Peridot I read 50% of it in one night. I stayed up till like 1 in the morning reading it unintentionally, but it just kind of happened because I was having so much fun reading it, and I had a bit of a similar reading situation to this book, and I was even saying to my partner, like, I don't know what to do because I really want to read my book to find out what's going to happen, but I also don't want to read it because I don't want it to end. Because I knew that obviously it was the end of this series, and I'd kind of fallen in love with all of the characters in this series, so I get very sentimental about ending a series because I really don't want to like say goodbye to the characters just yet. So yeah, I was feeling some type of way about that. I used these black roses, which obviously are the same as the purple ones that I showed you earlier, and I used these gold foiled wing stickers, which were just a really nice addition. Where possible, I will try and add a bit of gold foiling because I just think it's nice. And then I added these black like night rose stickers, which are also from Journal Say. So as I said, I'll link everything down below if it's even still in stock, but I'll put it there just in case you're interested. And I don't know, I've never done a black and pink theme before. It's definitely a first for me, so I kind of didn't really know what I was doing. So I just kind of just kept sticking more and more things onto the spread because I was like, well, surely if I just keep adding things, it'll turn out all right in the end. And that usually is the way that things go when I'm making. I also use this girl sticker. She doesn't really look like any character in the series but I felt like she looked cute in the frame, so I just wanted to add it. So yeah, A Reign of Rose was, again, a really fun book. It was definitely a spicy one, I will say that. It does end in a happy ending, so I was very happy that it all got tied up quite nicely. I feel like there was definitely some things, like very small things, that were left unresolved, but that was more with like side characters, so I'm kind of secretly hoping that maybe in the future there will be a series maybe following some of the side characters. So yeah, that's what I'm going to cross my fingers for, but I'll just have to keep an eye out on the author, Kate Golden, to see if that happens. If you have read any of these books as well, of course, then I would really love to know your thoughts on the series, if you loved the characters as much as me. And as well, I'm always asking for recommendations, so if you know that I have enjoyed this series, then maybe let me know something similar in the comments that I could check out. Have obviously started a new series already, which you will see me read in a second, so you'll find that out. But there's something very satisfying about just seeing all of the books that you've read in the spreads like this. I just find it so nice to look at. I hope you have enjoyed this different style reading update. I had a lot of fun recording it and sharing with you kind of like my reading side of it as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I would really love to know your favourite spreads in the comments below. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do some more similar reading updates in the future. But until then, I will see you guys in the next one.